All right, so guys, does it see this clearly? Yes. All right. So if I take one of those, let's say that these are 2-foot contour intervals. All right, and I'm going to just say that this one happens to be 1400, right? This is 1402, 1404, 06, 08, 10, and 12. So 14, 12, right? So now let's say I take one of those long bars and I place it here. How much grade differential is there from one end to the other? So first of all, where is the basic floor level of that bar? What elevation? It's at 1410. Right? I can't put it at 1400. I'd have to dig this huge trench all the way across, right? So right now it's sitting up at 1400. Yes? You guys all understand that? So somebody that's got site C, bring it up real quick and just bring it out here. So quickly, anybody that's got site C. All right, so the question becomes is there anything that I can do by configuration that would change it to where I'm not going from 1410 to 1400? So go ahead and clear everything off of it. All right, so I'll bring that. Let me borrow one of your long bars. All right, so let me make sure the camera can see this. Is it looking down? Does it see it? Stop. Okay, so here's this condition, right? And that's level, right? Let's lower that camera down. Make sure it still sees this thing once it gets all the way down. All right, so I'm going to tilt this thing up so that the camera is hopefully seeing that. You guys can all see that, right? You can see how far up that thing, in order for it to stay level, how far off the ground is it here? So what could I do that might make it to where it's not so drastic? Wow, that symphony of crickets. Okay, I got a question for y'all. If I turn it this way, do I have the same grade differential? Let's count it, shall we? All right, so somebody count. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? And if I go a little bit further over, I might even get it to where it's 12 feet of grade differential, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What happens if I turn it this way? 2, 4. So part of this notion, right, of working with the topography, working with the grade, right, is understanding that the closer something gets to running along the grades, the less differential you have. The more that it goes perpendicular, the harder it gets. So you guys have these two long bars, and so you're not going to be able to just ignore it, but probably the worst thing you can do is to put it at 90 degrees to the edge of the site. Remember, the edge of this site doesn't exist anywhere. This is an arbitrary line. Let me have your other. All right. So if I was to place this thing sideways like this, and then I was to place this one sideways like that, right? And I put something in between these two that I could use to put a staircase in to get from this level to this level, it would allow me to transition, right? This is what, in really simple architectural terms, is titled working with the grade, rather than working against the grade, okay, or ignoring the grade. This is working with the topography versus essentially ignoring it and doing whatever you want. Okay? This is why it is so important for you all to bring this back to school every single time. This is what I'll tell you right now. There are going to be some students that are not going to listen to me, and they're going to set that model off to the side, and they're going to start to design their model on a flat table. Then they're going to try and set it onto the model, and it's not going to work. Okay? So you have to design actually on your model, and you have to be considering the grade at all times. Okay? That make sense? So as you guys now start to approach this, take this lesson, right, and try to make it, you know, usable. You can have some things that are kind of hanging out there like that are cantilevered, especially if you have something that's supporting it. Say I do something like that, and it's supported here. So that little part that cantilevers is fine. If I take two of these and I engage them into each other, right, the model, that thing can't see it, but say I was to reverse it, or say I was to put this like that so that the camera can see it. Where this one's engaging this one becomes the support. That other part that's hanging out there just is a cantilever. It's an element that sort of hangs off of an edge and appears to float. That beam right there is cantilevering off the edge of the site there. Does that make sense? Is there any questions about that? So right now, what I'm asking you guys to do is to start to take that into consideration. And you guys can use tape. You guys can use pins. You guys can take pieces of your foam and stack it up in some areas. Right? So like say right here, if I took two pieces of foam and I stacked it up right here, right, it would support that beam, and the beam would stay level. Okay? It's not angled. All right? Questions? All right, so what I need you all to do is go back right now and start to lay this out on your site. Go ahead and stop that video and name it something.